first catch of the year. And Jones has a big gain down near the 20. Third down. Mahomes can run and get there, and he will. He'll take off. He's going to get there and more. Inside the 5 and slides down there. It'll be first and goal. Williams. Oh, he goes nowhere. Just nowhere to go. Nick Bolton was in there on the stop. You heard it. Well, Bryce Perkins gets his first career start today. Here to face. Oh, my goodness. Look out. Chris Jones. He nearly took the handoff. But the Rams in this game, down only 7 with all the injuries. And the Chiefs take over with Mahomes. Now going far sideline. A man wide open. Beautifully placed ball. And it's a first down for Kansas City.
This is called a cover 2 hole shot. Give him more of those opportunities. Take some pressure off the run game. See what happens.
4-man rush. Pressure. Perkins running for his life. He's in trouble. Bolton's got his hands on him. Still up on his feet. Staying alive. Perkins. And now he just runs out of room. What an effort. But the Chiefs just all over him. Brian Cook finally finished him off.
This is where the creativity.
Just a straight handoff. Pacheco dances up the middle and in. Touchdown, Kansas City.
Sorts of different weapons. This is just as simple. They got all the tight ends in here blocking. Just a simple handoff. They got 2 downs here. McVay's running down the sideline.
Quick throw, knocked away. He had Skoranek in the flat, but there was L'Jarius Sneed. Fake. Mahomes looking deep, throwing deep, and it is caught. Valdez-Scantling took a hit, held on. And a big one, a Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
He started finding a nice rhythm in the passing game. Let him keep rolling.
He will here. Great block to give him time, and now throws, and that is intercepted. Picked off L'Jarius Sneed, has it. Sneed dancing around down the sideline, and he's decked inside the 10. L'Jarius Sneed gets it right back.
You see him try to come back. He's open. Throw it. No, he just doesn't get it there in time. It gives Sneed a chance to buzz underneath the route. But you can't play scared. I think, what are you going to do?
Has just been incredible. He and Patrick Mahomes, the best winning percentage ever together. Perkins tipped at the line, and that's intercepted. Nick Bolton's got that to the 35. Still on his feet inside the 30. Dunlap got a piece. Bolton has his second interception in as many weeks, and the Chiefs, their fans in a frenzy right now.
See Carlos Dunlap down here. They teach these linemen, if you can't get home, just get your hands up.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is a Victory Monday here at Soiree Steak and Oyster House, historic 18 Divine Jazz District. It's the Red Hour. We're back. I'm your host, Sean Tyler, with the crew. To my left, we got Professor Radio, Sports Radio himself, Darren Smith. What's up?
Not much, man. Thanksgiving break wasn't long enough, man. So
no, it was not.
Other than I'm doing good.
Did you win some money yesterday?
No, actually, I didn't bet on the Chiefs yesterday.
What?
I did not bet on the Chiefs yesterday. I didn't do it.
He's what they call a fair weather better.
Nah, because the Chiefs would have hurt me because I probably would have went with the over, thinking they're gonna blow them out. And saw
what they say: you win some, you lose some.
Well, you have to bet to actually win or lose.
Fair weather. Told you.
I thought you was gonna break out singing the Johnny Gill song. To my right, nephew, Professor Wall Street, Mr. Steve Walls. What's up?
What's happening? I'm feeling good.
I'm sure you are. You didn't bet.
Lose. So I'm good.
And still walked away with the W.
Yeah, always. All about the W.
All right. And again, boom, boom, boom. To the far right. It is the infamous DJ Q.
What was that sound you did? Yeah. What instrument is that?
That's the siren at the party.
Oh, okay. Sounds like somebody's busted Honda.
That's actually where that sound comes from. Oh. That's where it originated.
The busted Honda?
Yes.
Oh.
I have no idea. Just sounded good. All right. So yesterday, the Chiefs at home against the defending Super Bowl champs, the LA Rams. You would be hard pressed to tell somebody if they hadn't known beforehand. It's like, hey, they're playing the defending Super Bowl champs, and then see that game. They'd be like, which team?
I forgot till they mentioned it.
Yeah. But I will honestly say that watching this game yesterday, we've seen the Chiefs eke by and win these close games, and the next day everybody goes, it was an ugly win.
Yeah.
And I was like, it wasn't an ugly win. It was just a good game. It was a hard-fought game, and that's where we stand. Yesterday, to me, was an ugly game.
An ugly win?
It was an ugly game. Offensively, the Chiefs looked really, really bad.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The defense kept us in the game. And for us to be as high-powered as we are in the red zone, we struggled in the red zone horribly yesterday. But we did get the win. Chiefs 26, Rams 10, so we live to fight another day. We're 9-2. We have the same record as your Philadelphia Eagles. And if I remember correctly, no, you're 9-1.
The same as who?
You're 9-1. I'm sorry.
The same as
I'm
who
sorry.
exactly?
I was hoping you were going to lose yesterday, and you didn't.
Why he
let me down?
He's like the same as
Right.
Like he ain't looking at nobody.
Because the Philadelphia Eagles are a 10-win team.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you haven't had a
Yes.
bye yet.
No, they had a bye.
Have you had a bye?
Yes, because they've only lost one game. That's what happens. Like when you lose two games, you like behind one. And
I don't know what I said, but you stopped scrolling through Pornhub and everything. You were like, what happened?
oh no, because I had to stop scrolling through the Chiefs. That may have looked like Pornhub. Yeah.
No, because there wasn't nothing good about that. So this game yesterday, even though, and this is why I say it was a bad game, or it looked horrible on our part, because we had a third-string quarterback in Parker for the Rams. And we made him look like a superstar. Perkins made him look like see, that's third string. We don't even know his damn name.
And I wouldn't even. I mean, I said it in the group thread. I don't even think they made him look like a superstar. He might just be a star that hasn't developed yet.
No, we're good at making the no names shine like bright new diamonds.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, we do all the time.
I mean, there were some. You could see his tendencies that he had. I'm talking about the quarterback. You could see some tendencies that he had, and that. Where Spags was doing one thing, and he was good. I mean, yesterday
and this is what I'm
good.
saying. Their backup quarterback wasn't as astute as this guy was,
Mm-hmm.
and you could see it because he automatically went into starting quarterback mode when he saw that opening. It was no longer looking for options. He took off running.
But that's the thing, though. When you face a backup quarterback like a third stringer, like he is,
And I get it. You don't have any film. You don't know what you're going to get.
everything in the kitchen sink he's about to try to throw at you to win the game. He's trying to play for a spot on somebody's team, not only the Rams, but someone else's team. He's putting them out there.
And I wouldn't even say that because they didn't.
Why not?
They didn't go all out with like trick plays and things.
Oh,
I think
everything but.
I think they did
And
everything.
they had a couple trick plays.
They did.
I think they did everything that they do well and tried to rely on his athleticism because he can't. Not everything that they do well. He can't. He's not able to do everything that they do well.
And one of the things too, not only do the Chiefs struggle with a new quarterback, but they struggle with quarterbacks that can run.
And that's because we already suck at run defense anyway.
And he didn't
so
throw
to add another run element to it, just
he threw what 2 or 3 passes in the first quarter and didn't throw another pass to the third quarter.
Right. So he was 13 for 23, 100 yards.
But here's the thing. If you're not good at running quarterbacks, this is the game where you practice on all that because you got a third string quarterback.
Do you think that what was going on?
No, I'm saying if that's what they should have been doing.
They were.
Okay.
I believe that they were really. You can't sit up here and tell me the way Nick Bolton was playing and
Nick
the way
Bolton,
Nick Bolton plays out his mind anyway.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
He did knock the quarterback out of bounds kind of hard. He pushed him, he get that little. Don't do that again. And he didn't do it again. So
if there's one thing that quarterback can do, is he can run the ball.
I would hope
he could run the
I would
ball.
hope so.
And,
run the ball.
And he was very elusive. There were quite a few times that they weren't able to tackle him. So again,
there was that one play where he looked so Patrick Mahomes, like he ran back there for a good solid 5 minutes.
It did.
And you're like, what in the hell is going on with this defense right now? It looked a little rough, but again, we did get away with the win. But we see these trap games, And it seems like and they didn't come close, and he didn't do a whole lot of damage, but you could see where when our offense was struggling, it could have gone bad real fast.
I will say this: the one thing that's been bothering me most of the day, some Chiefs fans that I know, I plan on bringing up Thursday when we talk to Dave Tobe is the stubbornness in this coaching staff and putting Sky Moore out there.
And we haven't gotten there yet. We ain't got there yet. We're gonna have a Sky run back punts no more situation.
It gets me.
Yeah, because that was another thing. And I get it, he's a rookie. And catching punts is not as easy as it looks on television
toughest job in the NFL.
or how it looks from the press box. It is not an easy feat.
True, but the first time he did it, I asked you about it. Oh, well, we just wanted to, put him back there. The second time he did it, you didn't learn your lesson then. And it's like, how many times do you have to get hit over the head with a hammer?
So you don't give him the same grace you give a Harrison Butker who keeps missing extra points?
Nope.
You'll have to explain that rationale to me.
No, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Who's that? What you say?
Explain it again.
So you've got a rookie who's returning punts, who dropped several punts this season.
Yeah.
You have a
Two of
star.
them at the touchdowns. One of them.
That's fine. And you have a kicker who can kick from 65,000 yards and make it and can't make an extra point. He's missed several extra points.
No, he catches the same heat. He catches the same heat.
Okay, but I'm saying, you're like, fire Tobe, get rid of.
No. Who said about firing Tobe? Don't put words in my mouth. What I said was,
hold on, not you.
Oh,
but like you said, when there's issues, because we're not losing, the house is on fire. Let's go ahead and burn down the whole living room and replace it.
Because you know why they hadn't taken him out? Because they had trust in him. Like as
who? Sky Moore?
Yeah.
No, they didn't take him out because they had nobody else. McCole is now your backup. Kadarius, they brought in Kadarius Toney to be a punt returner. He's injured.
Didn't they say they were going to trim McDuffie?
They have no other option right now.
I'm saying earlier in the season. Yes. Bringing in Kadarius Toney shows that yes, but first they had trust in him, and clearly they still did having him in the game.
I get that they do have trust, but like once and Andy said it today in the press conference, it's like we tried it, we gave him a second chance,
give him a third chance,
and now
I was going to say this way.
He said
this ain't the second chance.
He said we gave him a second chance. Whether Andy's the number of chances, they gave him a number of chances, and it's just not working out.
Because in my mind, Sky, if you're watching, if you're listening. Look at me. If you can't catch the damn punt, slap it out of bounds or something. Stop, drop, and roll on it. Do anything.
Or let it go.
Yeah, but for you to stand there and be like, oh, what happened? He got stuck yesterday doing that.
And he's never done punt return before. So that'd be like throwing one of us out there. Throwing us out there. I mean, if you practice, look, you practice something, that's in any sport. You practice something, you're supposed to be able to master it.
So who
wasted their professional to start returning kicks? I mean, if they've never done it before,
a lot of people.
Okay,
there's a lot of people that are just fast and gifted that can do that.
It's not the first time. Like you'll have a guy who's been quarterback all 4 years in college, and when he gets to the league, he's a wide receiver.
Yeah,
he's a tight end.
Yeah,
he's a running back.
I get that, but you get one muff punt. Okay, it happens. 2, it's a pattern. 3. Okay, we need to do something else with you.
That's what they did. That's what I was asking you. Why don't you have the same rationale with Harrison Butker, who can't make an extra point?
Unfortunately, they're paying that man too much money.
Oh, so now it's down to the money. So Sky Moore had a big contract.
When it comes to him, yeah. I mean,
so if Sky Moore had a big contract, it would be like, go ahead and let him keep on doing it.
If Sky Moore had a big contract, he wouldn't be returning kicks, Sean. I mean, come on now.
You know what? Stranger things have happened. Because when they throw the ball to Sky Moore as a receiver, he catches the ball and he makes moves. That's what I'm saying. So as a wide receiver, he could still have a big contract and be returning punts.
They only used Tyreek when it was most necessary, and he was the best punt return on the team. So I mean,
because they used him when he was hurt.
Yeah, So neither here nor there. For whatever reason. If we look and see Sky Moore in the end zone about to return a punt next time, I need somebody with one of those laser pointers in the stands to just go ahead and hit the punter. Just do something to help us out.
And the thing about it too, and Andy said it earlier, he was like he didn't want to mess up kids' confidence too.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about that: you got a rookie who that can create a domino effect within him, his ability to be able to catch the football.
Hold on, Steve. They do that every time he muffs the punt. The first thing Patrick does is throw him the football when he gets back out on the field. That ain't messing with the kid's confidence. Don't put him in that situation.
Not every time. Not every time.
That's what they did when against Indianapolis.
Yes.
When he muffed the punt and they scored a touchdown. First thing they did when he got back out on the field, they threw him the ball so his confidence wouldn't be shaken.
It wasn't the first thing they did. They did throw him the ball, but it wasn't like we're gonna throw you the ball.
I was in that drive though. They threw him the football.
I don't think you'd say this if Sky Moore went to Central.
Well, he did, so he got to worry about that.
If he had Blue Eagle on his resume, he'd be
a whole let him try, Yeah. All right. So we're live from Soiree Steak and Oyster House in the historic 18th Vine Jazz District. Finally, it's Christmas season, nephew.
Yeah, it's Christmas.
Obviously,
yeah,
it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
The bedazzled hat is out.
Do we got some Christmas jams coming up?
Now we're gonna program some. That's what we're gonna do. We are going to take our first break of the evening, and when we come back, we'll talk about a lot of the other games. There's a lot of interesting stuff that happened in the NFL yesterday, and since Thursday, we'll discuss all of that as we get ready for the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. And our record in Cincinnati is not that good. Yeah, so we'll talk about this upcoming game, and we'll talk about this MVP race. And so much more. Yeah, they keep throwing names in there. As long as Patrick's name is in there,
it's a race.
They're gonna see.
There's another contender.
Yes, and his name is Sky Moore. We'll be back in just a little bit as we do it live from Soiree Steak and Oyster House. It's the Red Hour. Make them clap to this. Welcome back to Soiree Steak and Oyster House in the historic 18th and Vine Jazz District. It is the Red Hour. If you come down here tonight, you can enjoy something that's on the menu periodically, but not always. Talking about that brisket chili.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, and tonight they did something super cool with the brisket chili. They have brisket chili fries. See what I'm saying? And the menu is incredible, so come down and enjoy. And if you're looking for a place to host your company's holiday party, make sure you come down and talk to Chef Anita and her staff and see if that you can't come down and have it here. Maybe they can cater your party.
Let me host it. Holiday party with your hat on.
Bet. You ain't ready for this kind of Christmas joy. You're not ready for this kind of Christmas joy. Yesterday in the NFL, a couple of things. There's some problems in Denver. So much so that when a defensive player comes off the field, goes right for your quarterback, hey, don't you cash no check tomorrow. That's what I thought he said to him. Like, you don't deserve to cash no check.
I think Russell said, I got direct deposit.
That's all right. Sierra's got money. So they made all these changes in the AFC West to combat what's going on at GHA Field at Arrowhead. And so far, it's not working for any of them. But more importantly, Russell Wilson, who is supposed to be the savior for the Denver Broncos, is taking them in the wrong direction. Do you think that it is finally that he's been exposed as washed up? His time is done. He's had his shine. It's over with.
All the other good head coach for starters, I think.
So you think coaching is the thing that's preventing him from winning games? throwing passes to receivers and them running the ball into the end zone?
I don't know.
I don't think you asked me for a myriad of options. I just said I think coaching plays a huge part of it.
So you don't think none of this is on Russell?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not. But you hold on. You asked me a question.
I asked you about Russell. You brought up the coach.
No. What was your question about Russell?
Do you think Russell Wilson is washed up?
No, I don't think he's washed up.
Okay. So now while you trying to question what I asked you, you brought up the head coach. I didn't.
But no, he's not washed up. I just think he needs a better head coach.
I think a player with Russell's resume, he could go out there with half of a head coach and still win games.
If you're that good a quarterback, you can.
If you're that good of a quarterback, you can go out there with half of a coach and say, hey, I got this. I'm going to put him on my back, and I'm going to go win some games. Now,
I mean, Aaron Rodgers would disagree.
You're right.
Why would you say that?
What's their record?
Have you seen him the last couple of years?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is 714 years old.
We're not talking about their coach either.
Okay. No, because coaching plays a part in what he's doing as well.
I mean, that's played a huge part in that process.
But Mike McCarthy, yes.
But the coaching is not in question in Green Bay. We're talking about the coaching in Denver.
Yeah, of course.
But so and again, Aaron Rodgers has missed. We
you're
knew
also
his
saying that the quarterback should be able to elevate said coach. That's what you just said.
Yeah, you should
okay,
be.
So
Aaron Rodgers is playing terrible.
So
they don't.
Aaron Rodgers is playing bad.
Is he washed up?
Is he washed up?
They got a coach who was running a dry cleaners in Indianapolis.
One thing about Aaron Rodgers, though, he already had 1 foot out of the league already.
I mean,
Russ didn't have that. Aaron Rodgers is not.
Okay, first of all,
let's suiting up for games.
Let's address the elephant in the room. Let's address the elephant in the room.
If your mind ain't in it, if your mind ain't in something, you're not going to be 100% there.
I give you that, but I don't have any evidence that his mind is not in it. He just played in a game last night with a broken thumb, like that. He just
it's been proof that his mind wasn't in it.
No, and that's you can give me the proof.
And they scored the most points they've scored all season last night.
But off of that, back to Russell Wilson, I'll stick to my point that I had earlier in the season on week 3 or 4 when we talked about his struggles. And yes, it's the coaching. When you look at the video that you're talking about and his players running off the field, yapping at his quarterback, the coach has lost the locker room. And the coach lost the locker room a long time ago.
Is it the coach or is it the QB? Because last time I checked, the QB basically runs the locker room. Lamar Jackson, he runs that locker room. Patrick Mahomes runs the locker room, not Andy, not any of these other coaches.
Tom Brady.
Patrick Mahomes. Okay. All right.
All
right. You telling me these guys ain't gonna run through a wall for Patrick? You've been in a locker room.
They run through a wall for Andy. So what are you saying?
But you've been in the locker room.
Patrick runs to the wall for Andy, so that means everybody can follow Andy's lead.
You've been in that locker room.
Steve, do you need a back scratcher the way you're reaching for this itch?
I do. Go ahead.
Get a little scratch. I'm sorry.
He said itch. ITCH.
We're not gonna do like Patrick Mahomes he could barely speak out about Colin Kaepernick kneeling, and you're gonna tell me that he runs the locker room? Like, please, let's stop.
And listen.
Stop right there.
We're not talking about as far. Look, Russell Wilson, right?
Yes,
he's the quarterback. We talked about his resume,
but he doesn't call the plays. He doesn't rally the team. He doesn't put in different systems like Andy Reid does.
Is the coach out there
accountable?
See, this is where I have problems, because yesterday we saw a third string quarterback on the field at Arrowhead who saw where something fell apart, and instead of continuing on with trying to find some options, took it upon himself to get the yards and run and get the first downs and do what he had to do as a quarterback.
Yes.
Russell Wilson, who has won a Super Bowl, has played in playoff games, has done amazing things as a quarterback. But my thing is, everybody's not Tom Brady. Everybody's not going to be able to play at that same level for decades.
But also
Russell Wilson, it could be. You've seen quarterbacks go to the Super Bowl and never ever make a playoff game again.
And so
it happens.
And so I'm gonna
maybe his skill level is starting to fade.
I'm going to use your comparison, because what happened with the Tom Brady, not only in New England but also in Tampa Bay, is that they took the pieces and they put it around him. But then they also took some of the best coaches, Bruce Arians, Byron Leftwich, like they took a lot of those pieces in and gave that to Tom Brady.
No.
For him to be successful.
They were already there.
Okay, but I'm saying as far as like the team, they put together a team that can hope, because remember
the team was already in place. Brady went there and brought in Gronk,
and there were also teams colluding to like get Tom Brady to get to their team before that's in the season previous. So
you talk about the Miami, that's different.
Teams like plural, yes. So people knew that Tom Brady was on his way out the door. Like, let's not cut off the point. Like, yes, they gave Tom Brady the necessary support. So then you come in and you bring a whole new team, a very whole new young team that was just led by Drew Lock, and then you give them a new coach, a new coach that just got through like winning Pop Warner League football 2 seasons ago. And so now he's a head coach for the Denver Broncos with a veteran quarterback, and they thought the veteran quarterback was going to put a Band-Aid over that. Like,
sometimes it's supposed to.
But why would you want to do that if you own a franchise? Like, why are you trying to put a Band-Aid over a bullet wound? And that's the issue with the NFL. Like, we're having the same conversation with Zach Wilson and with the Jets. Like,
but I mean, even still, like, Tom Brady started out Tom Brady-esque, sort of. But now you can see where he's not even doing what he can do as a quarterback. And you can't tell me Tom Brady's not running his locker room.
And that's where I will go with Steve's point. With his head is not in it, with his wife. Like, I will give you that.
Tom Brady care about as much about Giselle as I do about this Christmas tree being decorated outside now.
He could tell you that, but
no,
Brady's already moved on.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He's cool.
But no, my point stays the same as it has been all season with the Denver Broncos, and I think it's the coaching and the inexperience of the coach that doesn't help Russell Wilson. Like, Russell Wilson can't be Superman with name me 2 of his receivers right now, quick. Thank you. Okay,
Jerry Jeudy, no fine.
Cortland Sutton.
Jerry Jeudy is what, third year in? Yeah. He's not a veteran leader.
You third year in the league, you're a veteran. You're a vet in third year in the league.
How long do you have to be in the league, especially as a wide receiver, which is one of the shortest
you working
tenures?
Right now, you're working on a new deal. So you can't tell me that he's not a vet. We sat there and talked to Jerry Jeudy at Super Bowl.
Yeah, we did.
And
we talked to him and McCole, 2 very similar receivers. And McCole is not leading this team in receptions or targets. Like, please,
because there are 50 weapons on this team, so he wouldn't lead.
Yes, and he doesn't have weapons on that team.
Who doesn't? Russ.
Okay,
but if he's the other team in the league that has 50 weapons.
If you're one of the best players in the world at your position, meaning quarterback, you're supposed to make your team better. Right or wrong?
I agree.
He's not making his team better.
All
They're
right,
arguing with him on the sideline.
This show ain't about the Broncos, so we're gonna move on.
For example, what does it say about Justin Herbert?
What do you mean?
They're 6-5. I mean,
and so with Justin Herbert, he just doesn't have it yet. Like, he hasn't developed.
I'm just thinking, everybody talking about he's the lead in top 5.
Yeah, I would look. I was the same way. Like, I was on the bandwagon with him 2 seasons ago.
Wow.
Now the last 2 seasons, it's like, okay, he hasn't progressed, so I'm not giving him that.
Works for me.
Yeah, it's just so much horse pucky going on with this.
So dang Denver Broncos.
Yeah, so outside of the donkeys,
he got his Bronco orange.
The Commanders are actually
orange.
Now you're reaching for that itch.
I know.
So the Commanders.
Oh my God, corny, lame, bull, tomato, corn tomatoes.
You found it, but now didn't you?
So we'll move on. The Commanders over the Falcons. The Commanders are looking pretty good. The Jags over the Ravens, which was a surprise upset yesterday. Yeah. Lamar Jackson, they keep trying to put him on this pedestal, and he just keeps jumping off.
I think he's suffering the same thing with not having the weapons that they should have around him.
Like, do you think that's because his first couple years, he himself became the weapon?
No, yes. And we saw it in Patrick Mahomes 2 seasons ago. We see it where they expect these black quarterbacks to lift up the rest of the team. And it doesn't work that way, because then you'll get a Tom Brady where they'll go and they'll add, different receivers around him. Go pick up an Antonio Brown.
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that, because Hollywood Brown, that's his cousin, and he said that he couldn't play with Lamar because of the system, because it's so that particular system is geared towards him in the running game that a wide receiver can't really excel in it. You can be the number one wide receiver, but if they're not throwing the football, then you're just getting, you might get 70.
But 2 seasons ago, he was running and throwing the football.
Yeah. Not throwing the football well.
He was not throwing the football well, but he did make it happen when he needed to.
Yeah.
I mean, he can make it happen. I mean, he's got a good tight end. It's just they're not getting.
Tell that to the Jets.
They're not getting.
And DeMarcus Robinson's playing well.
Minus that touchdown he missed in the end zone yesterday, but there was.
Sound like you lost some money on that one.
No, it's just facts. I mean,
the Raiders, who and what's the saying? Even the sun shines on a dog's ass every now and then. Is that the saying? Something close to that.
I mean, we're
Broke clocks are right twice a day.
Twice a day.
And look, we're going towards my point because Derek Carr just got arguably one of the top 3 receivers in the league, and look what he's doing.
I thought it was gonna be all about the W. I mean, they won yesterday, right? I'm just saying.
I'm saying as far as
he
the
season. Carr didn't throw that ball.
Yeah.
He handed it off.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about as far as
that one off.
Yes.
Josh Jacobs did his job yesterday.
Carr didn't throw that ball. He handed it off.
And Josh Jacobs will be a free agent this year, so that'll be interesting.
And that was like the last play
Chiefs got
of a very long,
backs.
useless overtime game. So
Chiefs got enough running backs. They don't need
okay.
I mean, I'm not saying that.
So Tom Brady loses to Cleveland.
And the return of Deshaun Watson next week.
Cleveland.
Cleveland is the city where we come from, so run.
Cleveland.
Giselle took his mojo.
Man, Bone Thugs and Harmony could have been at halftime at that game. And Cleveland.
They got a decent team.
And it's not a bad team, but it's Cleveland.
Yeah,
and Tom Brady lost to Cleveland. He's kicking himself today.
Yeah, they played a good defensive game yesterday.
One of the best hits yesterday, one of the biggest hits in any game yesterday was when Sean McVay got popped in the jaw.
I thought you were going to say Nick Saban, the one he took this Saturday.
No. Well, that one counts too. But Sean McVay got popped.
Look, him winning that Super Bowl is like Trent Dilfer being a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Still, even the dog, the sunshine, the clock, and 2 times a day in the dog in the sunshine. Yeah. All of that. We got a game this coming Sunday that's probably going to cause a little trouble. As I look at the rest of the Chiefs' schedule with these last remaining, 6 games, 7 games? 6 games? Ha! You want to go cakewalk, but this game in Cincinnati, something about this Bengals team. First of all, we lost twice to them last year, and they got us in the AFC Championship game, went on to the Super Bowl to lose. But we're going to Cincinnati, and again, the Chiefs really have a crappy record when they go to Cincinnati to play. And Cincinnati has upset this team plenty of times before.
Yeah, I remember telling Steve, talking to some of the players over the weekend. They've had this particular game circled on their calendar all season long. So, like, we think about, Tampa Bay and some of these Super Bowl teams, that this particular game coming up is the one that they've circled based off of what happened last year. I mean, and the fact that you lose the game pretty much in the same fashion, you led 21-3, both games going to the half, and then to give up the lead and, lose the game like you did, that left a sore taste in a lot of their mouths.
And to that point, you get a lot of new guys that already have that in them. Like, all right, we know how y'all lost. We saw it on film. As Juju after the game, I was like, hey, y'all playing, Cincinnati Bengals. You weren't here last year. What is your thoughts? The other guys have it. He's like, that was my rival. I'm already ready for this game.
Yeah.
Justin Reed. Yeah. He said, I wasn't here, but look, we've already got it on our schedule. We know how they lost. It wasn't good, so we're going to make it happen this year.
So Cincinnati has a lot of guys coming back from injured reserve.
They always do. Every team does.
It's like they were waiting. We're just gonna let y'all sit out an extra couple weeks to come back for this game because we need you ripe and ready.
It's like slaying a giant. You've got this team that is coming in that's a Super Bowl winning team.
Is it cool, Joe, or do you think Cincinnati just has with that one team that has our number? Like when Peyton Manning was playing in Indy. He owned everybody in the AFC. Do you think it was?
No, I think the first time around they just had never played each other, so it just happened that they just lost that game. I just think that the Chiefs, I thought in the AFC Championship game kind of learned from their mistakes in the first game. That's how they got up 21-3. And instead of maybe kicking a field goal, they, try to go for it. And
so it's the play caller?
Yeah, it was play calling. But the second half of the game, again, we just saw that they collapsed. I mean, they just didn't run the football, didn't try to. I don't know. I can't remember exactly how the second half played out. I know that they couldn't pass the ball, they couldn't run the football.
So are you saying it was a play calling in both of those games?
No. It was Jamar Chase in that first game.
Jamar Chase ate us alive.
Yeah, that first
yards.
game he was trouble. Second game.
So this isn't the same Chiefs team.
Correct.
Right.
And it's mostly the same Bengals team, with a couple of exceptions.
Yeah.
Do you think that we can go in there overzealous on an attack mode and then end up in the same space we were in last year, losing to the Bengals?
I feel like they need to be in attack mode because we get these low games like this past game.
Yeah.
It seems like they're just coasting along.
Yeah.
They're just coasting along, and then when they need to turn it in gear.
And you said it this morning. It's like they play up to the level of their competition.
I say that, yeah.
But that didn't help either time playing the Cincinnati Bengals last season.
Well, yeah, I think the Cincinnati. I think they surprised me again because they got up 21-3. So Steve and I, we were there. We thought it was going to be a blowout, and then they just start hitting with Jamar Chase, and it was like, oh my god,
because we didn't have the Chase show.
Eli Apple.
Yeah.
Eli Apple and McColl's not playing. Well, we don't know, but McColl's not playing.
I think he's on IR.
Is he on? He's going for him. So no McColl, no Tyreek. And that was
the game.
Tony
could come back for this game, but he's going to be. We're not going to push him in too hard because
that was the game that they had stress it because of Eli Apple.
Yeah, and then saw what happened in there.
Yep.
Look, I think this game, this is going to be a game that Chiefs fans. I know we're thinking about the offense scoring points, but it's going to be a big question mark for Spags. How do you defend them? I mean, because we saw what happened.
Yeah, do you put
the last two times against them? I mean, and granted, they've got more defensive backs. I mean, and they've all been able to step up, and they've been doing well with getting pressure on the quarterback. So the biggest thing is, can you get to Joe Burrow and put him on the ground this time around? Because they had like 8 sacks in that game in the AFC Championship game that they missed by not being able to
but do you,
bring them down.
And looking at it, do you think Spags goes aggressive this week? Like, do you think he puts that extra man in the box to stop the run? I mean,
I don't think Mixon. I think he's got a concussion.
No, they said Mixon is supposed to play this.
Everybody's back.
Yeah, they said Mixon is coming back this week, and I forget the other player that
Jamar
was
Chase coming back.
Yeah. So Chase, but I feel like it was a third one.
Yeah,
but,
there was. Yeah.
But they were saying they're all supposed to be back healthy this week. So again, are you looking at it being like that ground and pound type of game that the Chiefs can have a issue with?
And these last 2 games where we struggled on offense, you know who got the ball first in both of those games?
Chiefs.
We did.
Yep.
You still say there's nothing to that deferring?
No.
Even though we lost the toss. Now here's a question. These next 6 games, we got Cincinnati, Denver, and the Texans all at home before we come back to the Seahawks, the Broncos, and then we're back in the desert wrapping up the season with the Raiders in Vegas.
And
out of these 6 games, are we going 4-2? Are we going 5-1?
You could easily go 4-2, but I think it's 5-1.
What game did
Who's that one? Who's that game?
I said it's Denver. As much as we talk about Denver,
that's what
I've been saying. It's Denver.
I was gonna say
never lost to
it's
Denver.
either the Bengals or Denver, and I think it could happen. But again, like if Denver is on the outs as a team, like if the coach has completely lost the locker room, if they're infighting, if nobody likes Russell Wilson, who's gonna buy in to beat the Chiefs?
Okay, so on top of that,
I think they go 6-0.
On top of that, we're 26-0 in November and December under Patrick Mahomes. These are November, December games, and you still say we're going to lose.
I think worst case scenario is 5-1. That's what I'm saying.
And you say Denver.
Worst case, and
Denver
I'm saying
the January. That could be the home game.
I'm saying either Denver or Cincinnati out of that. I don't because the strongest team out of that lineup
is Seattle.
It's Seattle after the Bengals. I'm not seeing the Texans doing anything.
Texans
really
over that first round.
Yeah, I don't think they really surprised the Chiefs in any way, and especially like the Chiefs play well in Houston. So I don't think that's a.
I think the Chiefs go 6-0. I mean,
A lot of people play well in Houston.
To me, I think
And as I look at this, we can easily go 6-0 and close out the season.
Well, and the thing is, if you're a Chiefs fan, you want to go 6-0 because one, they need to stay a game ahead of Miami and Buffalo in that number 1 overall seed. So to me, that's enough pressure on them that they feel like they need to play well and try to win every game.
And we're already 15 games ahead of the Raiders. So
no,
there's
so
a Raiders
like,
fan in here. I'm sorry.
Would you prefer that they take an L?
Why?
At this late in the season?
I think that
I'm saying
for postseason.
For postseason.
I think the Chiefs are much better when they sweep through.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm saying as far as like
even through the playoffs,
how you all are saying they're kind of coasting right now and really playing down to the competition.
No. I think that's the appearance of it. I'm not saying that that's how they play.
But do you think that in that same vein of them coasting throughout the season, do you think that playing on the road in the playoffs, at least one road playoff game, like do you think it
you need to be at home?
So let me give you this scenario.
home.
The way the Chiefs are playing right now, this could be the season where we clinch early.
Yeah.
And we lock it up.
Clinch what?
They're 3 games ahead in the AFC West.
Oh,
FC West.
The West. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the number 1 overall seed. I mean, you got to play that all the way through.
We do, but this Chiefs and the AFC, like the NFC is just ridiculous.
Man,
like
Miami is
everybody in the NFC right now has a playoff spot.
I think you
Yeah,
beat
but
Denver.
Miami
You
is
beat
balling.
Denver.
And they are, but
I think you beat Denver once, and you pretty much locked up the AFC West, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I mean,
because
Denver game, you beat them
you're
once.
you're only a game ahead.
Well,
of
no,
Miami
I mean
and Buffalo.
they'll lock it up. I mean, they're 4 games ahead of essentially 4 or 5 games ahead of Los Angeles. So I mean,
and if they continue, and I haven't looked at the schedule for Buffalo, Miami, but I think Miami has a super easy schedule as well. They have one of
Miami
the
and
easiest.
Buffalo play each other.
They still play Buffalo.
Miami,
yeah.
because Miami
And they still play all those teams play. They do around.
Miami actually has a harder
Schedule than
close of the
Buffalo?
schedule
I mean, Miami
than-
plays San
Buffalo.
Francisco on
Because
Sunday.
they played
They
49ers, Chargers, Bills,
Jets.
Packers, Pats, Jets, and then
Man, Packers, that's their
Yep.
that's their game. That's
and
their
then
setup.
Buffalo. They still have Pats, Jets, Dolphins,
Yeah, Pats
Bears,
Thursday night.
Bengals, and Pats again. So they play the Patriots twice.
So as far as our schedule goes, and looking at the way that their schedules are playing out toward the end, we might be hosting the 5th AFC
could be.
I'm hoping for
Arrowhead
travel
Invitational.
purposes, yeah.
Could be if y'all take care of New Year's Day and the week after for the Broncos and the Raiders.
Yeah, and that's what would definitely work in their favor if they have to come through here.
Chiefs just need to go 1-0 each week. That's all I need to be worried about. Go 1-0.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back and talk about some more records that were broken. We'll talk more about this upcoming Cincinnati game, and we'll talk about, this
Christmas.
it's too early to talk Christmas. We can just think about it. Don't push it, nephew. Don't push it. We're live from Soiree Steak and Oyster House on this Victory Monday. We are talking Chiefs football. We are talking going to Cincinnati with the Bengals this weekend. Could this be that rough game for us? We'll talk more about it coming up as we do it live from Soiree Steak and Oyster House. It's the Red Hour. Soiree Steak and Oyster House. It's the Red Hour, live from 18th and Vine. Don't forget, you can come down and enjoy some of this fantastic food that they serve here at Soiree. The bar is open, newly engaged. Kenny is in the building. Kenyatta, congratulations on your engagement. For he knows not what he does. No, I like Charles. So Monday Night Football tonight is another useless Monday night game. It's the Steelers and the Colts.
He said useless. Steelers fans wouldn't say that.
Somebody's got to play, but Steelers fans will say a whole lot of anything right now because they ain't got nothing but time to talk. They ain't watching no football for real. So we were talking off the microphone about the Chiefs possibly winning these remaining 6 games and then hosting the AFC championship game here at Arrowhead for the 5th season. And I think that plays out as the best scenario for them to make their way to Arizona for the Super Bowl this year.
Do y'all think this week kind of adds a little bit more pressure?
I would say yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I mean, if you lose this game, now you're in a 3-way tie.
Yeah,
but and then you don't have the tiebreaker either.
No,
and that's what I'm saying.
There's that,
and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I think this game, like last week, you get kind of that down game between 2 heavily loaded games, which people call that the trap game.
The trap game.
They've been prepared for this week since the summer. This is one of those that they've like, all right, it ain't gonna happen again. Patrick hasn't beaten Joe Burrow. We talked about that, so I think they're more than ready for this game.
Yeah, because
and what Joe Burrow's not a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes.
No, I mean not by far, but
he just had a better receiver.
Yeah.
I
was gonna say receiver.
Well, all it took was one in one game. So
T Higgins ain't no slouch either. So,
yeah, sure.
But I don't know, because I think my worry for you guys as fans this week is what type of game plan that Spags comes in with.
And I was going to say this defense,
because do you got Jamar Chase back? You've got pretty much a healthy offense. Do you too high them the whole game, or again, do you put somebody in the box?
No, I don't think you do. I mean, I think you play them straight up just to see first. I mean, you have to,
so
because
attack a man first.
Yeah, look, these Chiefs defensive backs, they're young. They've seen every receiver you can see, from Devontae Adams to Stephon Diggs to Mike Williams, Mike Evans. You've seen everybody.
Cup yesterday.
Yeah, you've seen everybody. So there's not going to be anything that Jamar Chase is going to do that they haven't seen already this season. So at least play a man up, rotate guys in. You brought Trent McDuffie in for a reason. Josh Williams, you're getting a lot out of him. And I would say just playing. I'm not sure if Juan Thornhill will be playing or not, but Brian Cook's playing good.
Yeah, how Snead is he going to be back?
Yeah, he finished the game.
He finished the game yesterday. Yeah, he came back in.
Yeah, and the other thing, man, I mean, look, they've been doing a hell of a job getting pressure on the quarterback, and so I expect a lot more. I mean, they had 3 sacks yesterday, but the last 4 weeks before yesterday, they've averaged 5 sacks a game. So I still think that they get after them. Not granted,
Do you think they get that kind of pressure though with a stout run game?
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think they do.
Well, Cincinnati still didn't have a great offensive line. I mean, regardless, I mean, their offensive line is still banged up. So
it'll be cold though. Yeah.
I mean, we talked to Colin last week. Or a week before last, when he talked about being able to stop the run. That's one of their key goals, and he's in on every run play. Mm-hmm. So I think they'll be fine as far as like getting after quarterback and stopping the run.
Still a little iffy on that run.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, we just
not as strong as it should. Right. It's not as strong as it should be.
That's different from a quarterback to a running back.
They only ran for 116 yards.
It's different from a quarterback and a running back when you go from Bryce Perkins' first NFL start to
Joe
but you
Mixon say that, but then it's 4 runs, so they're getting huge chunks on these runs.
I mean, but the Chiefs ran for 117 yards too. So I mean, it's not like they don't have a running game. I'm not talking about our offense. It's when you can't slow down the other.
The running game just came back this week.
I mean,
let's hold on.
Well, the running game was there last week too in California.
He knows because he put money on it. So outside of the 26-0 November-December record that Patrick Mahomes has as a starter, Big Red Andy Reid also got one for the record books yesterday. He is now the winningest coach at Arrowhead with 65 wins, beating out the late incredible Marty Schottenheimer. So he's in the record books now. Yep. So shout out to Coach Reid handling his business, and the most consistent team in the NFL in the past 10 years.
I would say 10. I give you
5.
4 or
6.
5. I give 4 or 5 at the most.
6.
I would say 5. I would say
6
5.
at the most.
I'd say
6.
7. I mean, they have won the AFC West the last 6 years.
And I was going to say 6 years owning the AFC West, but for the past 10 years, coming from where we've been, it has only been on the incline, which means that is steady growth.
I mean, because 10 years ago, the 2014 season, wasn't that the Owen?
No, that was 12.
That was 12.
12.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, we were there for those bad.
You sure do know all the bad stats.
You do, don't you?
No, I'm just saying.
I talk to this guy every week about Chiefs.
Like
of
you got
course.
this tattooed on your arm somewhere.
No, it's
You're like, I don't know.
not-
Didn't Patrick Mahomes fumble the ball in grade school 4 times?
no, because you see, I had to bring him back down to earth when he said Patrick Mahomes ran the locker room. You know, sometimes he gets out there. You know, you gotta,
Yeah, how could he go with him on that
put
one?
him on
Yeah,
the edge, you know?
I don't
Go
see
that
that
out
one
by
either.
yourself.
It sounded
No,
good.
he tried.
It sounded good.
He did try.
He
You
shot
would
from
like
the
what
park.
you bet I know, but he ain't ready.
He shot.
sounded good.
Look, he shot from the parking lot on that one.
All right, well, shooting from the parking lot might be the only way we get some business handled in Cincinnati, because that has been our Achilles heel, especially as far as Patrick Mahomes goes. And with Joe Burrow, you know, he's not even in this conversation for MVP, but they still try to steer it away from Patrick Mahomes. And I know that you've got Jalen Hurts on the list.
I've got him leading, yes.
Oh, come on.
You're the only one that has him leading. Even
No.
people that don't like Patrick
I
Mahomes.
wouldn't
Him
be
and
the
Skip
only one.
Bayless. Him and Skip Bayless for some.
No.
We're talking
I
about real, actual humans who, you know,
Come on, man.
breathe the truth.
I mean, he hasn't had to play from behind a whole lot. So, yes, he's going to have less passing yards than Patrick Mahomes.
Like,
Like,
ain't got nothing to do with the other.
and his team also fairly runs the ball. Like, he's balanced in that.
So he literally has 1,000 more yards than Tua, who's the other quarterback who's in the conversation.
Uh-huh.
And how many yards does Jalen Hurts have on the season?
I don't know. I did look it up last night.
So you know that Patrick Mahomes dropped a pass and a box of Cheerios when he was in grade school, but you don't know your quarterback's stats for
No,
the year?
I have it right here. Before last night, he was at 2,400 yards passing. But that's
He's at 25-64.
So he has less yards than Tua on the season.
he's got 1,000
What-
yards
how-
less than Mahomes.
how many rushing yards does he have? Because when we're talking about most valuable player, the value that goes into passing yards also goes into rushing yards. And then also there's a little stat that he's leading Patrick Mahomes in and interceptions. And Patrick Mahomes is actually over him on that. So, like, taking care of the ball.
But
is
Patrick
like
Mahomes also has more touchdown passes than Jalen Hurts.
So could
I
you
get that.
17 to
being
3
most valuable
versus
player? Could you
29
take
and 8.
another? Could you take another quarterback, throw him in that situation, they succeed?
In which situation?
But either Chiefs or
Could
Philly.
you plug
And
Jalen
Philly-
Hurts, put him in the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are 9-2?
I think so.
Oh, you got your damn
Ooh,
mind,
I don't know.
You got your damn
I don't
mind.
know.
What do you mean I'm out of my mind?
I don't
What?
know.
No, you're out of your damn mind is what he said.
You give him Travis Kelce. You give him McCole. You give him. Well, I was about to say some running backs. Let me not go too far. But Pacheco but again, I think what helps him is that the team is well balanced. It's not all receivers. It's not all passing. It's not all on his shoulders. But
it is because he is getting it to these different backs, these different receivers, these tight ends. He is spreading the ball around, and these guys are still. Travis Kelce is what, 45, 47 yards out from another 1,000-yard season. We're on week 11.
AJ Brown has done a lot for Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry, he's done a lot. The addition of AJ,
so Travis Kelce hasn't taken these 5-yard runs and turned them into 40 like 100 times this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we're not accounting yak, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
but what I'm saying though,
you guys are just looking at the glorious stats.
No, but what I'm saying
when
is
it comes to wins and losses and turnovers,
Aren't you?
now none of that
Kelce,
matters.
but what I'm saying is, you
Aren't
pull
picking and choosing
Kelce.
what you're trying to pull out?
No, I'm looking at the whole picture.
If you pull Kelce from the Chiefs, and if you pull AJ Brown from Philly,
Are the records the same?
are the records the same?
AJ Brown just got there this year.
What I'm saying,
Okay,
so
this season you just had a winning record like this season.
Yeah,
So if you pull Kelce from the Chiefs, would Mahomes still be successful?
not as successful as he is.
I
know.
I don't know.
What? Speaking of
What do
yak,
you mean you
don't
don't
give him
know?
any more.
I don't know, man.
Don't
What
give
do you
him any
mean
more.
you
Because
don't know?
he's making a hell
So
of a
who's the next playmaker, please?
Juju,
Anybody.
MVS.
He's spreading the ball around
McCole.
so much. And these guys
You
are
got
like,
two other tight ends that were balling
Juju's
too.
over 600 yards for the season.
Noah
And
Gray has
he
how
didn't
many
even play the
touchdowns?
whole season.
Noah Gray's been balling too as a tight end.
I mean, y'all are really trying.
He's making guys.
We're
like
giving you
good.
numbers.
He's making guys. Good.
Nobody but you would take Jalen Hurts over Patrick Mahomes. Nobody.
Jalen Hurts would even take Patrick
when
Mahomes.
When did I say I would take him over Patrick Mahomes? I'm saying as far as this MVP season.
Even NFL executives would tell you it was Patrick Mahomes is to lose. It ain't got nothing to do with Jalen.
NFL executives don't even halfway like black quarterbacks. So let's not even go there.
Let me put you like this.
Yeah,
the people who vote, who vote is Patrick Mahomes is to lose. And if Jalen Hurts ain't nowhere near the league.
And you can't sit up here and tell me that Jalen Hurts is a more valuable player than Patrick Mahomes is. You can't tell me that.
I just did.
I don't get it though, man.
Because you just told me that Patrick Mahomes runs the locker room, and now you're gonna say that he's.
You probably own all 4 Tito Jackson solo albums.
No,
because you thought that he was better than Michael.
See, I like quarterbacks that take care of the ball, and I like quarterbacks that win, and that's
so. But he has.
No, you didn't.
He's got more.
You didn't say that.
So he's thrown more touchdown passes than Jalen Hurts. So when
Facts
you do
don't matter to Q right now.
Right. So when you do that, obviously you'll have the opportunity to.
So the MVP race is based on touchdowns and passing yards.
Oh, of course.
Hold on.
Oh, of course. There's a lot of that.
MVP is a big chunk of it.
Okay.
Not only is it based on numbers and stats, but it's also based on a narrative. Let's not forget, a lot of people thought that Patrick wasn't going to be as well without Tyreek Hill. What was Patrick? I mean, all these teams that brought these quarterbacks and receivers and stuff in. This was supposed to be a Chiefs down year. What did Patrick do? He's thrown for more yards. He's thrown for more touchdowns at this point in the season.
Playing much better
without his quote unquote number one weapon.
He is having a better year this year than his MVP season.
So yeah. So
statistically,
50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards.
And y'all ain't doing nothing but convincing yourselves.
Because you don't care about the truth and the facts. Jalen Hurts is going to win your MVP regardless.
No, I care.
Jalen Hurts ain't even going to win Offensive Player of the Year. It's going to be Tyreek.
I care about a quarterback that is productive, that leads his team, and that takes care of the ball.
That's a lot of quarterbacks. It is.
Josh Allen.
That's a lot of quarterbacks.
How many? Okay, let's
how
look
many
at
touchdowns does he have?
You said a quarterback that leads his team and takes care of the ball.
How many touchdowns does he have?
He's tied for second in interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of quarterbacks that do that.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Oh, okay.
Who's tied for second? Mahomes? Come on now. Stop.
No. He's actually middle of the road when it comes to interceptions.
Who leads in touchdowns? I mean, because in every game to be scoring points, right?
And that's fine because he had to play from behind a lot.
Who?
Like Jalen is a winner. So I'm sorry.
If you had the number one draft pick,
he won, man.
Listen, if he had the number one draft pick and you either had Jalen Hurts or Mahomes, knowing what you know today, who would you go with?
I'd go with Mahomes.
Oh, gee, thank you.
That's all I want to know. All right, we can move on.
But we're talking. You said, hold up. We going from an MVP discussion to now. Who would you draft?
I'm saying, knowing what you know today.
Yes, knowing what I know today.
Yes,
I would still take him.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
All right,
and everybody else.
That doesn't make you an MVP.
No, you and everybody else.
So the Eagles have played the Lions, the Vikings, the Commanders, the Jaguars, the Cardinals, the Cowboys, the Steelers.
Cowboys with no Dak.
Right, the Texans.
So at the beginning of the season, when you're like standing in line, like, because who stands in line to pick the schedule? Is it the owner, or was Jalen Hurts in line? Like, hey, give me all of these teams, and put them on my schedule.
He did do that. He texted me yesterday and said, "Yeah, I picked them. I picked all these teams."
And I'm not saying any of that, but you keep throwing up that we play from behind, but we've also played a lot of teams with winning records. And I'm not talking about our AFC.
They can't do anything about the teams that's lined up across.
They can't. But
all they can do is do their job, and they've done it.
So this is where it goes south for him. When the Eagles make it to the playoffs and they play a real team, and they lose right away.
Yeah, I just wish
that's the only way that's going to shut you up.
The Chiefs had the Eagles on their schedule this year.
Not that y'all wishing the 2021 Super Bowl on the Chiefs on the Eagles playoff season. Like, it's okay,
and it's fine. But I just want them to play a credible football team and not playing the Raiders every week, so you can see
they haven't played any credible football teams.
Not with no winning records.
What's the Cowboys record?
The Cowboys, but they didn't even have Dak Prescott.
But no, you said no winning record. So what's the Cowboys record? You just said none.
What is it? 7-3.
Yeah,
You just said none. So now we're
What was the
backtracking.
record when the Eagles played them, though?
No doubt.
It was a
No,
record.
I'm gonna tell you what that record was.
matter.
No, they ain't gonna make they ain't gonna make the Super Bowl. They trash this year. They're not gonna do that. That's what the record was.
We shall see. We shall see. That's what we'll do. All right. So it's come to that portion of the show where we discuss this coming Sunday's game in Cincinnati in the cold Ohio air
Yeah, what is the temperature?
against the Bengals. Yeah, use your little iPhone to see what the weather's going to be in Cincinnati this Sunday.
It's just the weather app. You have that on yours.
I do. What's it? It's a noon game?
425.
425, 325 Central Standard Time.
Let's see. Cincinnati. Let's go to daily.
WKRP.
Oh, so it's it's supposed to rain. 54% chance of rain, but the
Plays into
low,
the Chiefs'
the
hands.
low is 40.
All right, so
that
it's a
ain't-
balmy day
Yeah.
in Cincinnati. So we're going to Cincinnati, and again, the Chiefs don't fare well in Cincy, and Patrick Mahomes doesn't fare well against Joe Burrow so far. But here we are. Is this a trap game? Is it going down? What's happening
Nah.
Sunday in Cincinnati, Darren?
Chiefs win. They score 30. Chiefs win 30-27. As long as they don't eat none of that nasty ass Skyline chili, they'll be okay.
Dang, what the chili people do to you?
This was horrible when we handled it. It was horrible.
Darren,
Sheesh.
I mean, nephew, Sunday.
Don't
Man,
say 41.
No. I think it's a race to 30. It really is. It's a race to 30 points.
Say that. We're on. Yeah.
I said 30-27.
Yeah, it's a race to 30 points. I think it's the Chiefs' game to lose. Put it to you that way.
Isn't that
But
every
do they
week,
come
though?
from behind? I guess because I said 30-27, it could be where they missed the field. Somebody, but do the Chiefs come from behind or do they hold off? Defensively,
Look,
they
this
hold off.
game has been on their schedule since last year. They may come out and blow the doors off of these teams.
Oh,
They haven't had one of those games.
Yeah.
They haven't had one of those games in a long time, and I'm leaning more to that.
my concern is it could easily be 21-3 again, and then the second half,
It could be. But I'll tell you this. I would say, 34-17.
huh?
34-17.
Damn, Steve.
And that's a late touchdown by Joe Burrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Wow. Just to even it look like they tried.
It's just
Well,
one of
man.
those things where it's like, man, you got a team where you can go out there and blow the doors off of them, and we want to. And
So this is Patrick Mahomes' 6th touchdown game.
Steve
Yeah.
makes his picks on.
I think
wish
you
factor.
have to. Well, you
No,
know,
I mean,
but
it's-
look. I mean, Steve brings up good points. The thing is, you need to do it. You need to do it for confidence sake because one, you don't look just like Buffalo can't seem to beat us in the playoffs. You don't want a narrative where Patrick is 0-3 going into the playoffs and they somehow happen to play Cincinnati again, whether it's at home or on the road. So yeah, you need to. This needs to be a statement win on Sunday.
And we're 26-0 in November, December.
we talking about all this like schedule and stuff too. Record is going to mean something at the end of the season
Yeah,
where
that's
you
what
may
it
not
is.
want to win out because let's say you get on that side of the bracket with Buffalo,
or
you get on it.
You went out. You play whatever case may be. You have the game at Arrowhead.
Yeah, but sometimes
And you
wanna
can't
on
be the
that
best
side
if you don't beat the best.
you don't want to be on that side of the bracket. I wouldn't want to play
No,
Buffalo
if you ain't don't
early.
want to be on our side. No. Chiefs need to be at home at Arrowhead. There's a reason why you have a little home field.
I understand that.
You play at home.
Hey.
Whether you're the first seed or the second seed,
Nephew,
that's all I'm saying. Is
You
what it
got to
depends
grab
on.
your nuts and go for it. You can't be the best if you don't beat the best. So being afraid of going to either Buffalo or Miami means nothing. If we want the Super
That's
Bowl,
why I
we got to
asked-
go all in.
That's why I asked the question about being on the road.
It's
you
balls
guys
to the wall.
For you guys' sake, for a young veteran team, I think you would want to be on the road.
No, I don't think they want to be on the road.
I don't
Anything
think
with the road.
I don't think it cares them at all. I think that they have a lot to prove because they got blew out on Super Bowl Sunday.
You wouldn't want to go to Buffalo and play. You go to Miami and
I give
play.
you that. Miami, you would want to go. But
You
I
go
give
to Miami
that.
and play, but
Only that's the only.
You wouldn't want to go to
No.
Cincinnati and play either.
But here,
I think you do.
Okay, look, we've been doing
I'd
long
win it.
enough. We've been doing long. You want the narrative of being able to play at home because you want your home crowd there. No matter what, you want to play at home. You want to host the games because you feel like
So let me
things may
ask you
break
this:
your
did
way.
that home crowd help against Cincinnati last year?
Not that.
Who's going to win the game Sunday?
I think the Chiefs win, and I think I think they win, and I think it's going to come down to who fails to get their 2-point conversion, and then the team that makes their 2-point conversion.
Or if Harrison Butker doesn't make those point after.
I think that's what it might come down to. But I think it's like a 30-29 type of game.
Wow.
Sheesh.
And we've had some close stinkers already this season, so I don't see why this one should be any different.
30-29 game already.
All right, folks. So the Chiefs going to Cincinnati this Sunday. Honestly, I feel that this is going to be that statement game, and Patrick Mahomes does the 6th touchdown. He goes all in.
I don't think he does all that, but I think he has a 350.
He's highly capable.
Yeah.
Oh, his team is, when they're playing good on all cylinders, we see what they can do. And I think that they are ready. And like you said, this game is circled on there, and they're going in there like, I have to shut Joe Burrow down and shut everybody up. This is his statement game.
This is how we gonna know if they score on their opening drive, whether it's after they kick off or something. But their opening drive, they need to get 7.
Once we win the coin toss and we defer, that's when I'll know we all good.
I think the game opens as a stalemate, and I think it gets better once you get in about that 3rd, 4th quarter.
I say the Chiefs score first, and
score opening drive.
Cincinnati doesn't score for 2 possessions at least.
That's wishful thinking, but okay.
I'm just saying. And if they do, they only get 3.
Because I think the Chiefs are going to run the ball a lot more this week as well.
No, I think Patrick is going all out.
I can see that.
If it's raining, Patrick likes to throw in the rain.
We're going to break records.
Just so you know.
We're going to break records. Travis Kelce's going to be over 1,000 yards on this game. He's going to reach that point. He's going to get at least 150 yards.
Hey, for the house with the Christmas tree in it, I hope that it happens for you all. Because if not, that everything's burning.
Oh, hey, and God bless Jalen Hurts. All right, folks, that is going to do it for the Red Hour. We will be back next Monday to find out exactly what happened in Cincinnati. If we were right or we were way wrong, and we'll find out.
Man, it's a long flight from Cincinnati back here, man. If we lose,
just don't eat the chili.
There are no direct flights.
If they lose and you guys utter MVP again,
if was a 5th.
All right.
We all be toasted up.
I need a yak for Q. All right, folks, that is going to do it. We'll be back again next week to talk more Chiefs with the crew. For Darren Smith, Steve Walls, DJ Q, I'm Sean Tyler. It's the Red Hour. We'll see y'all next week. Be safe. Be well.
The views and opinions expressed in the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundation, or affiliates.